Hello everyone, Happy here, jumping into a quick few tips about the new update for players that are maybe you're jumping into it or don't know too much. Let's get to the first one. These little piles of garbage, that's loot. I flew past a bunch of them early on, but if you go in here, you can grab a few things like legendary spheres and dog coins. You're going to need the spheres because catching pals in this area is brutally tough. Now, the next thing that our tip is going to be, oh, no, they didn't respawn. We're good. We just flew away the wrong side. Is having to do with oil extraction. So oil extraction comes from these big extractors that are a new thing that you can get in the technology tree at level 50. Now, these allow you to get crude oil, which allows you to craft pal steel and other things like that. And with the pal steel, you probably don't need the base pal steel armor. If you had the legendary armor for the cold resistant pal, it's actually equal. Actually, I think it's actually higher, to be perfectly honest. I think it's 400. Um, and so you don't really quite need all that stuff. But if you build two bases in your single player, you can put them in render distance of each other, and they'll be able to create 4 rather than 2. I know there's a place over here on the far island that has 3 on it, but I figured if you're going to AFK in a base, you can at least do it while you're gathering a bunch of resources. And we'll go over to my base over here to talk about one of those very helpful things, as well as another 2 hints from Graham as well. So, thing number 1, as I drop out of the sky, down to the ground, and pull the chute, woohoo! Is farming yield. This is something I actually haven't heard anything of. Most excited kind of AFK'd the farm, but there's a really helpful tip for those players who either starting out or getting new, or new to the game, or trying to go as efficient as possible. If you get your Leylines all the way up to like tier 4, they actually produce more food when growing things. So it's pretty exponential. So give it a try, check out the numbers yourself. If you go in my previous video's comments, I believe Graham broke it down there about the actual numbers and everything like that. The other thing is where you use these dog coins and how do you unlock more accessories. So if we go over here to the Desolate Church, there'll be a vendor here called a metal vendor. Let's say for it to load. He's kind of tucked in off to the side here. And if you talk to them, hello, buddy. You go to the buy, and this box right here for 100 coins allows you to have a second accessory. And this one for 10,000 or for 1,000 coins can give you a third. There's also things that increase cold resistance. There's other different types of hats which look rather fun, as well as a freight ring. Here, let's buy a hat to see what it looks like. So if I take this hat and I equip it, you're gonna get some fun, silly hats as you're going around and playing. So from the start of the game, it's right here at the plateau's beginning at the Desolate Church. I'll even leave this pause for a second. That way you can see the bottom left of the map here. It tells you your coordinates, and off you go. So let's go back to the base and talk about a few more base things. One, the rocket launcher still seems to be the best weapon in the game to my knowledge. I haven't crafted the later ones yet, but I don't think a lot can beat the 10,000 damage or 14,000 damage out of the legendary rocket launcher. And the fact that you can make infinite ammo is just ridiculous, because now you can have this sulfur and coal pits on your base. You can literally just make infinite rockets if you need it, which is extremely helpful. Now, I left these meteorites up from before, so we can also talk about this next part. If you'd watched some of my previous videos, you would have seen me doing this, but if I didn't actually explain why I was doing what I was doing, which would leave probably a few people confused. So if I go over here, and I jump off my mount, and I'm actually going to put on my helmet, that way I don't get killed by things here, and let's equip my sword. So these meteors here actually drop loot when you rack them. They drop meteorite fragments, which are very helpful and are needed for more of endgame loot. The next thing is make sure you have a gazillion spheres, or even think about changing the settings. I haven't changed my settings yet, but I'm using these ultimate spheres. I still have a 50% capture rate for things that are my own level, which is definitely tough. The other thing that I want to talk about is trying to level up. So obviously there's new pals here, you can capture these ones. But if you want to save your spheres and try to go for something smaller, if you go to the pal deck, all these pals now go up to 12, which means you can go back and try to capture a bunch of the old pals to get yourself pretty easy XP. If you haven't captured a lot of them and you know where some are, it can be extremely helpful to to try to find and capture these pals and get yourself to a higher level much faster. So just a good way to do it and save yourself some little loot. Oh wow, I actually didn't even know my shotgun can harvest that. Turns out shotgun beats meteors. Let's see what else we have here. Just trying to read my notes. I wrote it down this time so I wouldn't forget. Other than that, actually, I think that might be it for just some of the small tips I wanted to talk about. I talked about building the bases in 2 render distance. I talked about the farming. I talked about infinite ammo, where to get the new accessories. I don't know, so actually, if you want to leave in the comments below, I know there's other pals to get here that I have not seen. There's actually 3 of them. I'm pretty sure they come from meteorites. If anyone knows how to make other things spawn at the meteorites, that would be really helpful. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. I am going to be trying to play through the whole thing. My next video is actually me trying to take on the tower boss at a lower level, so we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.